Alright, fellow Meltology friends, I'm in a place called Edward's Gardens, and this is an old farm, old property that's since been turned into a beautiful garden center where they grow all sorts of flowers and herbs and have classes for kids and whatnot. It's a really beautiful place. However, the property is quite old, and the narrative goes something like some guy from Scotland came over in the 1840s. Just typical timeline of when things were rewritten. Can you say that with cold lips? Rewritten for us to indoctrinate us into the lies and make it all sort of fit. So I believe that this is actually an old world wall, and I'm just going to do a walk around it. I don't think I can capture everything I want to, but you're going to see some old world iron pieces of metal and all sorts of these popcorn bricks. And there's so many places where you can see that the brick is still a brick, but it's connected with another one, but it's lost a lot of its carbon-14 through the X Factor event. So I don't need to talk on showing you around. You can see exactly, like that's a brick just popped out right there. Nobody builds like this. We know that. And all these little bits of metal sticking out, all rusted. And so if you look down, you can see all these popcorn bricks. And so many of these old bricks have fused together into larger pieces. I mean, nobody would think to construct a wall like this. You can still see a little bit of red, the carbon. Some are more compressed than others, but you can still see clearly the brick formation, the brick planning that went into this. All these popcorn bricks, different sizes. Now there is a bit of a smoking gun on the back side of this building. This is the old, what they say is the old barn. It was absolutely buzzed and fried, and the bricks have turned stone, and I'll show you that. And they're doing a really good job at trying to cover it up in a couple of different ways, which I will show you. Anyway, this is a beautiful example, I think, of a lightly buzzed brick wall where a lot of the shapes are still intact, but the squeezing began and the fusion of the bricks took place. Some red in there. The other side is just as nice. So here's, oopsies, oopsie daisies. Oh, a brick fell out from somewhere. Oh, cat's out of the bag. All right, so anyways, this continues. I could just take a long time and just show you this wall alone. There's so much to this property that I've been watching and looking at for a few months now that I've been putting on or wearing my melted brick goggles. Popcorn brick everywhere, and just look at all the different shapes and angles of all the rock here. I mean, nobody would think to carve that, cut that, however they claim they got this stone from, and be like, okay, let's put that right there. Yeah, not a chance. Beautiful brick on block. Now here's a bit of a smoking gun. This one still has a lot of that carbon-14 in it, sitting there hiding nicely in plain sight. Now this is where it gets fun. You're going to see a whole bunch of garbage cans. Now here's the exterior of the barn that was obviously X-factored, and the bricks got a lot more heat and electrical zappage happen, whatever that term is. I don't even know how I started that sentence. They've done a good job at trying to cover it up, I think, with modern cement. Still to keep the old look and to hint at the older building underneath. Okay, it looks nice. It's a heritage site, this whole property is. Check this out. All right. Now, what a great place to store all your really ugly garbage and recycling, and they have to go somewhere. I get it, right? There's the road right there. People drive by. Check out this like billion-year-old tree, willow tree, and there's a circle of totally cooked out rocks, which I actually am starting to think that part of this whole mockery on us and joke on us is that whenever they, whoever they are, lots of terms we could use, are trying to cover up this truth, they actually, whether it's an agreement, a gentlewoman's agreement, or part of their code of conduct or code of silence, they need to keep certain elements of the X factor in plain sight, almost as a signature, at like an unspoken language communication with all these people who are in on the know. And when I see things like this, because I know this entire property is, there's crumbs everywhere. Okay, there's another picture. We're gonna go back over there. Sorry, I got totally off track. But this, to me, I would put money down that this is the results, this is the remnants of an original structure, or these rocks were here, hooked out bricks, and they were just assembled in this circle. But this is their signature way of wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, we're in on the know. So anyway, back to this beautiful old historic building. Okay, these grounds are immaculate. There's so many cool things around here that I'd like to show you. Yeah, see, these cooked out rocks are everywhere. You can see the other side of that beautiful old wall. So this is the side, you know, they want to lure people in and come to our gardening this and symposium that, and let's talk about this and that. Like, it's a really cool place. And they have all these garbage bins on this side. Now, with all the money they bring in, you'd think that they could put them, you know, somewhere that's a little less of an eyesore, but they're here for a reason. You want to see? So this whole wall, X-factored, brick turned stone. And wouldn't you know it, all along the bottom of this brick turned stone, there's rocks that are all bulging out, like popcorn rocks. All right, still fused in with this old barn. So they're using these, I'm certain, but they've chosen to line up all of these ugly plastic jobbies to cover up the base of this old barn. And if you look back here, I don't know if you can see with the light, all the popped out brick and brick turned fake concrete, brick turned stone is all at the bottom, like the compression of this wall pushed them down and squeezed them down. So you can see them in between these bins. Okay, can you see how much that sticks out? Maybe you can't, I don't want to touch anything. That's major stone. And so even if, you know, somebody's walking by and saw that, they'd be like, why would they build this old barn? It's obviously still, you know, still fused to the wall. Why would they put a big stone like that at the bottom? Well, it kind of gives it away. All right, so smoke. Oh, and there's another old piece of metal back there, which is really nice to see. And then it continues over here, but it gets more interesting on the other side here. Okay, in between all of these cans, there's popcorn stone. And on this side, they've actually attempted to cover it up with cement. All right, and connect it still to the wall. But yeah, no, that's just popcorn brick turned stone, still connected. Like, who would build that way? Like, it's a good one. And here, look at all these popcorn stones. Can you see how much they stick out from the wall? And this is really fun here. What the on earth is going on here? Well, we know what's going on. Yeah, they just put these rocks right next to it and then connected it all with cement. Yeah, that's it. Nice, eh? And then this is just right here, beautiful stone. Was it part of the original building? Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. So here's the other side of this wall. Again, there's just, for all of our eyes, we can see this a mile away, right? But on this side you still have popcorn brick coming out. And was there another smoking gun on the other side there? Check out all these popcorn bricks sticking out. There's no way they'd build like that knowing all the kids and people would be sitting here. Look, you can still see some squares. Look, you can even see the individual bricks here. Boom, boom. That have since fused. Some are big like this, and some are still in half. Some are blended the whole way down. Look at that. This is the perfect example right here. Okay, where you've got individual bricks, and some that have blended that way, some that have blended this way. Little pieces here still. Popcorn. Again, 2 bricks. Still plainly visible. Nice brick right there. C14 all cooked out. A little bit coming through right there. Yeah, like a little granny coming and sitting down and missing the edge. Like that can hurt somebody. I don't know who, but somebody. They wouldn't build that like this, knowing how many kids and people of various abilities come here. Alright, so this is really fascinating. I'm standing on the brick ash of this, what they call a creek, which is, as we know, old piping, old irrigation. And this one side got really zapped and dustified, but there's still some popcorn bricks, turned rock, balloon rock, up against the banks here. And whoever calls the shots on this place to cover up the lies, they've let this greenery just kind of grow wild over it, probably just to cover it up and encourage people not to ask too many questions. But on this side, didn't quite get as zapped as the other side. Now, anybody would say, well, they just put this here to reinforce the bank and, you know, to make it safe. There is a trail up top, like a tiny foot trail. Is this really needed? And I can tell you, this creek does not get that full. Like, it does not release much water during all 4 seasons. I've been walking along here a lot over the past 4 or 5 years. And again, my new eyes. So, there's some nice balloon rocks there, but check out all of these lines on these big pieces of what they would call granite. And I know that some would say, well, they use that to quarry out the stone. Okay, well, possibly, but they're all different. They're all different lengths, right there. They're all different depths, and they just don't make sense at all. But it doesn't make sense because then they stop, and then there's a bunch of balloon rocks, and then it gets sandy again, and then they start up sort of again, and then they stop. So if whoever did this really wanted to reinforce the side of this bank to reduce erosion, well then do the whole friggin' thing, not just partially. And check out these lines going totally different ways. The small ones at the top, that was a red-bellied woodpecker I just heard. Such a nice bird. Look at these. Beautiful, look how weathered that is. Hey, Annie. But check this out, there's a brick right there. Oops. Oopsie daisies. Brickage. All right. So check out all of these melt lines. And there's some cool corners. I want to get over there. Yeah, this just doesn't add up at all. Doesn't add up whatsoever, as we all know. Look here. Oh, you can still see the top of the bricks right there. Oh, I'm gonna get over there. Get a closer look at that. And of course, powers that be, the ones covering up this whole line, they leave things to grow wild on that side, so probably to prevent people from, or kids or people to explore much more closely. Looks like a brick still in there. Sure, there's a lot I could find over there. But everywhere you look, you've got these melt lines. And underneath, boom, 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 it's like a serrated edge. Isn't that incredible? Incredible. Yeah, and the tops over there are super cool. All right, this is awesome. All right, once again, old world plumbing, irrigation just doesn't quit, doesn't end. It's just coming out of that big bank up there. Okay, where is this coming from? And again, we've got those melt brick lines next to it right here. Nice one right above it. There's actually some bricks right above it. There, you can see. Yeah, just so awesome. Once you see it once, you see it everywhere. That's what's happening. All right, check out these. You can pretty much see the brick right there. Isn't that incredible? And then it's justified below. Brick ash. Pretty much see the stones here too. It's incredible.